Hi everybody. So I am doing all of my recordings during the eclipse or at the end of it. It will be done very, very soon. So I'm trying to do a couple of these at least during the eclipse. I did one based on an eclipse spread that I created previously. So this one that you're seeing was also filmed during the end of the eclipse, but this is my starseed messages. I know my starseeds are out there. I love you guys. And so please take what resonates and leave the rest. I want to do a special reading for you. So I've got 3 cards here I pulled, and then I did a Queen of the Moon Oracle over here. So we will see what it says in just a little bit. So the first card I pulled is I'm sorry. So basically I asked what the interstellars would like you to know, what their message is during the eclipse. I'd gone to a meetup about interstellars, and they did have some messages, so it was very interesting. So when I got I'm sorry, this kind of leads back to what this eclipse means. It says I'm sorry, and then underneath it says defenselessness, riding past wrongs, uprooting. So interesting. This kind of goes back to this eclipse had a meaning. This solar eclipse was kind of about repentance or something like that, or, you know, I don't know if I would see it that way. And I don't view it in a religious way. However, I would say this eclipse is going to be about reflection, about maybe, like it says, riding past wrongs. It says uprooting. So I feel like some of you starseeds out there are feeling like, you know, are feeling like you need a change in your life. And changes are coming, believe me. There's a lot of changes coming for a lot of people. But there's definitely change coming. I think you are being invited to uproot. When I say that, I mean some of you may be thinking of moving. You might be drawn to certain places. It's kind of weird. Let me give you an example. You may be drawn to places like Sedona, Arizona, or places that have like a high active area. There's places in Utah, and even in Massachusetts, there's places where there's been high activity of ETs or interstellars. They don't call it that. They say UAPs and things like that. But I feel like you're being drawn to these energies, like this. How do I say this? But you're being drawn to this energetic pull, a magnetism. It's I feel like you're wanting to be closer to your people. And, you know, most of us are human, although some people believe that aliens, you know, interstellars already walk amongst us, that some of them can shapeshift and be human-like. There's some that say that there are hybrids out there, and this may sound pretty wild, but this may sound completely normal to those of you that are starseeds. You know what? I'm open-minded to it all because anything can be. And I've seen too many weird things in life to say that it, you know, to say it doesn't exist. That would be crazy of me to say. I mean, I'm open-minded and I've seen things. So if you're feeling pulled to a new location, trust in that intuition. If you're getting that message, and you feel it as a starseed, you feel pulled, follow it, because there's a lot of things that I feel like are going to happen in the next few years. I do feel like it's going to be more and more prominent that we do have visitors from other worlds, other galaxies, whatever you want to call it. I do feel like interstellars are becoming more mainstay here. Like we're seeing more and more things, and with the inventions of all these better phones and videos and doorbell cams and all these things that we're seeing, we're starting to capture a lot more of the stuff that's happening. You know, back in the day, however long ago you want to call that, we didn't have this type of stuff. People wouldn't be able to say, oh my gosh, I saw this big flash of light and I heard this noise, or aliens landed in my backyard. I mean, they actually had some proof to back it up that something weird had occurred. Even though they didn't get the actual aliens, I did have proof that something crashed there. I believe that happened in Las Vegas. It was wild. But there's just more and more, you know, evidence is building. And it just depends. There's a lot of frauds and fakes out there, so you got to be careful of that. But if you have true evidence, you know, put it out there. There's shows dedicated to this. But if you feel pulled to certain areas, like Sedona, which is supposed to be a highly spiritual area, that sometimes, or, you know, the Utah Basin, it seems to be attract a lot of this UFO activity and things. But so if you feel pulled to move there, then go if that's what you feel you need to do. It's your prerogative. It may be part of your path. You could meditate on it. You can ask questions however you feel you communicate with spirit or with the interstellars. Like, by all means, go. As a starseed, this is your soul calling. So follow your soul, your intuition, what you feel is right. I'm sorry, you know, you might be righting past wrongs. You may want to just start fresh over things that have happened, or things that have happened to you or you've done to others. Either way, if you want a fresh start, go get a fresh start. If you're kind of like trying to tell people, you know, hey, I'm sorry for the way I treated you, like, go ahead, make amends and get a fresh start, even if that, whether that means you move or you don't move. But there is something about that here in this first card. Okay, sorry if you can hear the dog barking. Somebody must be at the door. So the second card is lifting the veil. Questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So, lifting the veil. Some of you are waking up, and I don't know if this celestial event of this eclipse has been the catalyst for that for you, or if something else has occurred. But let me tell you, like, you know, you may not believe right now, or you may be like, okay, I believe, but I haven't seen anything yet. I was just talking about this in a group today on Meetup, and sure enough, like, the other night, I went and got in our hot tub here at this house. You know, it's great when your back is hurting. And the great thing about it is it's out in the backyard, and when I look up, you can see some decent stars. And I looked up and saw the Big Dipper. Usually I can see Cassiopeia, and I can see a few things. And there's a great app called Star Tracker if you want to track whether there's meteor showers or celestial events, or you just want to look at where the stars and the astrology placements are. You can find out where they are in real time in the sky. So it's really cool tracker. I looked at it because I kept seeing, even with my glasses off and my eyes blurry, full disclosure, but my glasses fog up because I'm in the hot tub, so it's hard to see anything at all. But when I looked up the other night, you know, I was watching the sky. I was just relaxing and watching, and out of the corner of my eye, I kept seeing these silver streaks every once in a while. I'm like, I know I saw that. I saw that. And then I'm like, I did see that one. So I saw 2 or 3, maybe meteorites. And that's pretty normal, but I think it's cool anyway. There wasn't a shower that I could find, but, you know, you can see any at night. But it's just kind of rare here because I'm in the middle of the city. So we don't have a lot of darkness like you would think. We have a lot of city lights, and it kind of lights up the edges of the sky. So, you know, when it gets really late, most people turn off lights. Some of these big grocery stores and different things don't. So you don't get to see a lot of the night sky unless it's a complete power outage, and then you can see all kinds of things. I see more when I go out to the country to a friend's house, and that is fascinating. I have been seeing a lot of things. You can see satellites. You can tell what airplanes usually have emergency lights on them and they're blinking. So it's usually easy to tell what that is. And there's apps for that too that you can check. But I kept seeing, you know, 2 different things. It's one thing to differentiate the meteorites, but right at the end of the Big Dipper, I kept seeing like a flash, like somebody turning on a light, like a flashlight, and flashing it and turning it off. Kind of, sometimes it almost had an SOS feel to it, but I don't think they were calling for help. It was more like a signal. It was like somebody flashed me from space. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, did I see that? But I saw that several more times out of the corner of my eye. And then sometimes I would see it right in front of me. I'm like, okay, I know I saw that. And I don't know how to explain that. How can there be a singular flash of light? You know, is it possible? And I'd have to look this up because I am not, you know, I am not an astronomer by any means. You know, I used to love looking through a telescope and learning about astronomy. I was part of astronomy club in high school, but I've never seen anything like that where it flashes. And I'm like, well, is it possible for me to actually see a burst of light that's a super quick flash? Is that possible that I just witnessed a star blowing up or something? Can we even see that with the naked eye here on Earth? I mean, would it be close enough? Or would we just see like a little flash of pinprick of light? I've also seen these it looks like stars that are bright and they're moving across the sky. They get really bright and then they dim again. And then they just disappear. They fade out, disappear. And I'm like, did it go out of my view or did it really disappear? And I'm sitting here looking for it. And my glasses not being on really irked me. So I'm going to try to keep them on for like tonight. So I'm going to go out and try to look as long as it's not raining here, which it may be. So lifting the veil, if you're starting to notice that, ever since I started getting into my spiritual journey and I was exposed to like this, the interstellars and things and learning about how I'm a starseed, I've always felt a certain way. So lifting the veil, once I started to see that and learn about it, I've started to see more things in the sky. The people in the group were saying, well, try to communicate like through meditation or like just kind of relax your mind and try to send out a signal or a beacon yourself. And I tried to do that and I thought maybe I am getting a response, but it wasn't. I wasn't sure. And like, what if it's someone else doing it? There are people who go and they do this through different types of things. And I could also try playing like a certain frequency or things like that and hoping to meet somebody, but hoping to kind of make contact in that way. And it may sound wild to some of you. You're like, oh no, she's crazy. And no, I'm not crazy. I'm grounded with it. But wouldn't it be cool? I do believe. And why? We're one planet in about 8 or 9 planets, depending on what you believe on Pluto. Yeah. I almost said Pluto. But who cares? Whether you like Pluto or not as a planet, I mean, we have a solar system. We're inside of a galaxy. We're inside of one galaxy. Guess what? There are like over 600 billion galaxies inside this huge universe. I mean, it's so expansive. I don't even know how far it goes. How are we to say that we are the only humans on the only planet in this galaxy? What if other galaxies have other humanoids on life-giving planets that are Earth-like? We don't know. So that's why I tend to be open-minded and believe. Plus, I've seen some things, and it's just like, you have experiences in your life that you can't explain. And I think that there's an answer out there, but one day we will have answers. I do feel like we're getting closer to having more contact with interstellars out there. I kind of feel like it's happening more and more to the point that we're almost getting used to it. And that might be what they want, because they don't want us to panic. Because, I mean, look at what social media, look at what TV and movies has done to aliens. They've vilified them. They've made them scary, like horror movies, and they're to destroy the earth. And while there might be some species that don't like us and might want to do that, I don't feel like all of them are that way. That's like saying all humans are horrible and we all want to kill the aliens. We don't. There are those of us who wish to make peace and wish to make contact, and we would love to learn from them and about them. And then there are people that are so scared they don't want to. And then there are people that don't like it and don't want to deal with it. They view it as enemy. So I don't want to group them all together just as much as I wouldn't want them to group us humans together, because if they decided that we were worthless, they could just wipe out our planet in 2 seconds. I mean, they have that capability, right? So I'm assuming. So questioning everything, anything on the line must go. So pay attention to what's around you, feel what you're sensing, picking up on energetically, psychically, trust that intuition. And it's okay to question everything, but some of you are definitely waking up. You're becoming more aware of who you are. And that goes into the last card. Besides lifting the veil, we have Hiraeth. I don't know if I'm saying it right, so I'm sorry. I think it's Hiraeth. That's what it looks like. It says longing for home, homesick for the stars. Oh my gosh. This is why I knew I was a starseed. I didn't know for a long time, but growing up, I felt homesick for a place that wasn't Earth. I don't know how to explain that, but how many of you felt that way? Please leave me a comment if you do, because I would love to know how many of us there are out here. And I've since then kind of learned that I'm dealing with guides that are Arcturian, Pleiadian. There are beings from Orion, although I'm not sure which ones. Maybe the Lyrians. I don't even say it. Lyrians? Crap. Pardon me for tripping over the names. I'm still getting used to it. There's so many that I've lost track. But I'm feeling generally pulled towards certain ones, and I'm definitely feeling that homesickness. I used to lay up and look at the stars outside at night and think about, there's no place like home. So my soul is not human. It is alien. That is something that I was told during a tarot reading, my very first one. I was told that I was a star child, that God put an alien soul in a human body. Your beliefs may be a little bit different, but I believe that for sure, because I felt it in my bones, in my blood, in my soul. And as a starseed, I still feel this sometimes. So as you're lifting the veil and becoming more awake, more in tune with, who you are as a starseed, you're gonna realize why you felt homesick for a place. Even though you're on Earth and you grew up with this family, you're like, but this doesn't feel right. You're longing for who you used to be. And a lot of us were interstellars before we were humans. We've been a lot of things. I have been an angel. I have been an interstellar. Who knows what else I've been? I have not yet figured it out, but there's been many lives. So with that being said, during this eclipse, the interstellars are telling you, like, if you follow your heart and soul. Like, if you feel that starseed pull to go somewhere, go. To make amends and restart, refresh, however you need to do that, reset yourself. But they're letting you know that you're waking up and that, you're longing for home for a reason. So that lifting the veil is going to be the most important. That's going to be where you really start getting the messages and go, you know what? I feel pulled. I want to move closer to water. I want to move, closer to something else. You might feel drawn more to fault lines, or I don't know. I mean, it just depends. People are drawn to very strange things. If you really love weather or rain or whatever it is, but it might be elemental for sure. But you might be drawn to certain areas that have higher UFO activity, or, where you can deal with interstellars and you get more, I don't know, messages, or you feel like you're going to have contact, or you'll be able to see more evidence. So follow that. I've got one oracle card from Queen of the Moon Oracle. It's number 24, and it says Waning Crescent 1, protection. So it's kind of funny how you get protection. And it's funny that this bird is carrying this person in the nest. And so I think some of you may have guides that are interstellar. This may be why you feel this pull and why you get these messages of you feeling a certain way, of being a starseed. Many of you probably had something that led you to find out of who you are or what you are, besides being human. You may feel pulled to be a starseed for a certain reason. I would love to know how you figured it out. Or, did you get it through a reading, or did somebody tell you? Like, how did it come about that you guys discovered that you are starseeds? I would love to know, but they want you to know that you are protected. I know that I have an Arcturian guide, and she, it says she, he, I don't know that they have gender necessarily. They may have the yin-yang quality of masculine, feminine, and both. And so this being loves me fiercely and is very protective of me. They don't really give their names, but I kind of got through meditation that her nickname or shortened name would be Nan, N-A-N. But I say she or he, it's been referred to either. But Nan is fiercely protective of me, very good at guiding me and helping me become more intuitive and open my third eye. I have actually woke up hearing my guides at one point, and I actually met a version of myself in a dreamlike state. Like, I wasn't fully awake yet, but I could hear my guides all talking at once, and I actually met it was former me. I don't know how to put it that way. My name used to be Vera, and I used to be some type of interstellar that looked very insectoid, or at least I kind of had like it looked like a praying mantis kind of head with big eyes, but it wasn't scary. And I was wearing a fabulous dress. I don't know. I was wearing a beautiful pink, like shimmery dress, and I was very fashionable. I was really into fashion. I don't know why, but it's a very funny thing to see. But I was getting the visual and talking to myself, my former self, in this dreamlike state. And I'd love to know if any of you have had this either, but I have had that experience. But I know that I feel divinely protected here in one way or the other. Whether it is angels or my guides, my ancestors, or my interstellars, they are all here for me, to help me, to guide me, and I have to find my own way, but they will help along the way, and they protect me too. They are very, very protective. So I don't have to worry about it. So I really hope, I hope that this helps, that you feel comfortable. So don't be afraid. You are divinely protected. You can ask them to help you if you don't want to see too much or experience too much in your awakening. You can say, okay, please be gentle with this, and can you help me kind of get comfortable with it, to adapt, because you don't want to see something that scares you, or, and they will work with you. So do what you have to do. But I hope this was helpful, my fellow starseeds. What a wonderful eclipse it's been. I hope it's great for you and you get whatever messages you need to get. So good luck. Good luck in your awakening. And if you do decide to move, I wish you the best. Until next time, bye guys.